We're back.
Oh yeah.
Another episode. You guys already know Money in Motion Mondays with a Let's Talk About It episode today.
Oh yeah.
Damn, I feel like we haven't done an episode like this in maybe 2 weeks. I think we did double upload of regular episodes. Um,
Ah man.
but yeah, with further ado, we'll jump right into it. Super exciting video today. Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be diving into some little bit of hot takes. I think we usually
We
do,
always have hot takes.
but
Hey,
I think
best
that's the
podcast in the
purpose.
world.
Yeah, but the purpose of like our videos and topics is to spark engagement and spark debate and get people to think about, their futures or their current situations to either help them, or our goal is to help people understand that there's still a way and it's never too late, essentially.
Yeah, definitely.
And then hopefully we can teach you guys a little bit about investing, starting a brand, a business, things like that. Um, but yeah, honestly, I'm pretty excited for this episode. So welcome back to those consistent viewers. If you're new, hit the subscribe, hit the like, comment some topics that you might want to see us cover if we haven't already covered it in the past. But I do recommend to go back to our old videos and watch some of those.
Yeah.
Um,
Pretty fire actually,
yeah,
dude.
yeah,
And we've gotten so much better, bro.
yeah, we have.
Don't go too far back. Go far back to like the beginning, hit the like,
Yeah.
and then just come right back.
Come to the present video.
Nah, just playing. Nah, but you know what? Even though like they weren't super good, there was a lot of knowledge, I
There
think.
was a
A
lot of
lot of gain.
detailed information and
Yeah,
just stuff that I think you can still take stuff away from for sure.
for sure, dude. Yeah,
100%.
I agree. I agree.
But yeah, so today is becoming wealthy actually harder than it was 20 to 30 years ago, or are people simply making different financial decisions? So, pause the video, answer that in your own, and come back. While you
Dude.
pause it, hit the subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. But enough plugging in there.
That's shameless plugs right here.
um, so we'll start with David, and we'll see what he thinks.
Dude, this is you know what's crazy, bro? I feel like every different age group is gonna have a different answer um to like this question. But I think people are just I think it's harder nowadays for sure.
Mm,
I want to say it's harder, but then at the same time it's also easier because of the opportunity. But I I, I think what makes it harder is that people are just making different financial decisions
in what sense?
in the sense of like I think too many people are trying to do like the traditional way.
Mm,
Like just getting a car and a house, paying it off and then that's kind of it.
yep.
But dude, like I mean we all know this. Like shit is so expensive nowadays, dude, where it's almost like one job is not gonna cut it, dude. Even you have to be making like at least I think 100 grand to be living comfortably.
Current day currency, with
Yes.
inflation and all
US
that stuff.
dollars,
Yeah.
yeah. In the state that we are in currently, that's what I feel like.
In California specifically, there's some places that are cheaper, but
True.
California in itself, like at least six figures minimum.
Actually, you make a really good point, yeah, because these gas prices out here in California, dude, I'll see people like some viral videos about like gas prices in like freaking Michigan where it's like $3 or $2 and they're like, oh my god, it's never been this high. I'm like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
My water costs more than that. What the fuck?
Bro, dude, that's actually facts. You can get a gallon of water for less than that, or about the same actually, like $2,
Yeah,
250.
250. That's sad, bro. What the hell?
Damn.
But anyway, but yeah,
Sheesh.
I would say I think it's actually harder. It's harder now. Yeah, I think
Based
it's
off,
we're basing it off of like the average person, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
Damn.
I think it's harder for them.
So do you think that
I
when
said them.
people when people say like the system is broken, or there's, or on the other end where people are saying, I mean, because I've also heard on the other end where everyone's saying right now is like the best time and the easiest time to become a millionaire or rich or wealthy or whatever you want to say.
Correct.
I've heard both.
I agree with
People are
that.
saying, "Oh, dude, well, AI tech right now is taking people's job, which is why it's so much harder to make money." But then you hear the other half of people are saying, "Right now, it's so much easier to make money because of
Mhm.
technology."
I think because I hear that shit all the
Dude,
time
literally,
too.
that's like
Yeah.
split 50-50, bro. I think.
Yeah, I think what people that are the people that are already successful, they don't realize that they're not an average person.
That's a good
And
point.
there's a big divide right there because the average person is just not going to try to take a risk or try to take a different route from what's traditional, you know? So, I mean, at least that's how I feel. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? I feel like that's not the average person. And which is why I said them earlier, because I feel like my mindset has shifted now.
Yeah. Um.
Not
All
to
right.
shit on
So,
them.
I think to begin, I'll say that it is harder now to make money and become, I guess, financially successful, if that's like for lack of better terms. Um, I think because like kind of things that you already touched up on was just inflation levels are actually insane.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
like cost of living in itself is so much pricier, with wages not being able to compete with the level of inflation year to year.
Mhm.
I don't know like specific numbers, but I do know that like inflation has increased way more than wage has increased. So like
Yes.
that in itself, when it comes to like balance of life, right? You're gonna naturally just be spending more to survive and have less to invest or like grow your have like to grow your money.
Yeah, that is
So I
true.
think in that sense, that already makes it harder without diving even deeper into it than it was
Mhm.
20 to 30 years ago, where I think I would say 30 years ago, 20 years ago was, and for our timeline right now, like close to the recession in 2008, because we're in 2026. So I would say 20 years ago was it's probably equal, because the recession, like, a lot of people lost jobs, businesses, whatever. But
Yeah,
30 years ago, like in 96, in the late 90s, early 90s, it was for sure 100% easier. Like, no doubt. I think
I agree.
anyone watching this would say, like, yeah, dude, that was the start of the World Wide Web, like, era, like, Apple
Dude.
phones, smartphones, like, so much happened in those late 90s, early 2000s. But I think, like, 2008, when the whole crash happened, like, it's similar to what it is now, just harder,
Yeah,
But
that's a good point.
I think hearing people say like the system is broken and like all these other excuses as to like why, I think you're never going to know when there's a right time or when it's perfect or whatever. I think even back then, right? No one knew that 96 or the early tech boom or whatever happened was the right time to become wealthy, right? A lot of people did become
That's
wealthy,
true.
but a lot of people also missed out. And I think it's the same as right now, right? Where there's a shift in focus with where people are putting money into and flooding, people are buying into these certain assets, whatever. So I think it's like, are you taking the risk to potentially be one of those people that looks back 20 years from now and says, I was part of the people that invested, took the risk, and now I'm really wealthy, or
Yeah.
made some money that is like I can be proud of, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
But there's also, again, there's always going to be the other half where people are going to say, well, it was too hard. I didn't have money. I didn't, like, with the excuses.
Yes.
So
Which some are valid. I think
100%.
I
Yeah, some are valid. Like I said earlier,
yeah.
cost of living is way higher. So it is harder to have that extra cash on the side to
Mhm.
invest in this opportunity that we're going through right now. But I don't know. I just think that regardless, like there's still always the group of people that are risking everything, going into debt for the chance and the risk,
Yeah.
with who knows what is gonna happen, right? But you know what they say: scared money don't make money. So,
That's
not financial advisor, but
that's
you
true,
gotta be
dude.
willing to figure out, like, scrape some money, pick up a side little hustle, some Instacart, Uber, whatever you gotta do outside your 9 to 5 to
Hmm.
get some extra $100, $200 to invest in. Not saying like specifically any category, but in something that you believe is gonna help bring some type of like additional wealth or something into your life.
Yeah.
Um,
Or even just to buy like something that's not gonna depreciate it with it in a short span life. You know what I mean? So like for an example, like you get that second job, you know, you have extra cash to get a car. Cool, get a car, but at least make sure that it's a freaking Honda or a Toyota, a car that's actually gonna last and still hold some value. So that way, like at the end of the line of your, say, 5, 6 years later, you can still go back to the dealership and sell it and get some money back. You know,
yeah.
I think that that's not taught enough. And like, well, even like for us, well, I mean, I'm gonna lie. My dad, this is what's funny. My dad always told me like, dude, like get a beater up or this and that. But at the same time, he would be like, well, you're working hard for your money, dude. So you should get what you want, you know? Which is like, damn. It's like, I think that's where you just like gets complicated. But
Yeah.
um,
And to cut him off really quick, we've talked about this in an episode in the past where we talk about these situations that we've had, like our
yeah,
parents walking us through the hard lessons
yeah,
and
that was a
us
good episode.
barely acknowledging some of those things now as we got older and have our own lives and businesses and things like that, where we realize value of those things and areas that they don't really bring value to, but in the moment they did.
Yeah, yeah,
So
dude. It's
go watch
actually.
that episode.
So a question. Do you think the average person has a fair opportunity to become wealthy today? Damn.
Yes. I think
Nah.
I think and, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm a cook. Barology.
Say cook.
Yeah, flick of the wrist type.
Chef Curry out here.
I think the average person has a fair opportunity at becoming wealthy today because there's so much free knowledge out in the world that can be applied to someone's day to day, to someone's whether they want to learn stocks, whether they want to learn about 401ks, whether they want to learn about
That's
starting a
true.
side hustle,
Very true.
how to screen print, dude. Like you can literally learn everything on YouTube University or Chat University or Cloud University. There's like AI that literally answers everything on a click of a button, dude.
That
And
is
it's free
facts.
to some extent. Like YouTube is pretty much free with no charge. But Claude and ChatGPT, like there's free versions, but if you pay like a small fee per month, and this is not a sponsor video, but I'm just saying based off my own experiences,
They should.
dude, you can get so many free knowledge or game just answers, so many free answers and knowledge and essentially access to anything pretty much just by asking the question that you have. I think in the past,
Yeah.
you didn't have the same tools that you do now. Yes, it was easier financially to because you had a little bit of extra cash in your pocket because it was not that expensive for cost of living to invest up front, but you had to work for your knowledge. You had to find someone that knew someone. And I think even back then, bro, people were more of gatekeepers. They still are now, but
True.
a lot of people gate kept way more, in my opinion, um,
That's facts.
information. And also there wasn't really ways like YouTube wasn't as big as it is now. We didn't have podcasts really as big as they are, um,
That is
and
true.
access to the World Wide Web at the level we have now. So I think it's perspective, right? Like if you're using the tools that you have in front of you that are pretty much free, then yes, you do have a fair chance. Like I think every average person has a fair chance at becoming some type of wealthy. When I say wealthy, I'm not saying like okay, becoming a fucking billionaire or becoming like 100 millionaire. Wealthy, in my opinion, is like if you can make at least 150K plus, like I would say you're wealthy. And I think based off like household income, if you're 150K and up, you're considered a upper middle class right now. Still,
I
I
think they
know.
changed it to 170 this
Is it
year.
170 now?
Yeah.
So okay, regardless,
But
150,
still,
170,
yeah,
like
pretty
on
close.
your own, you can live as one person, like that. You can have a family of three, I believe, and be like comfortable, like your wife and like two
Damn, bro.
kids. Um,
I'm poor than fuck.
but think about it, like if that's pretty attainable in my opinion. Like with
Dude,
side
hell yeah.
hustles, even if you have two jobs and you're getting paid like 70K on both jobs, like you're pretty much there.
Dude, 170, dude, that's basically half of what I make, bro.
Yeah,
Dude, if I had doubled, bro, I wouldn't even be here right now.
exactly.
Nah, I'm just
So
playing. But yeah, dude, you make a good point, bro.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I would
I
say.
agree. No, I honestly agree 100% with you, dude. I think that's where like I said
Nah, nah,
earlier,
stand on business. I saw you shaking your head over here when I said they do. So he's like, nah, I agree, I agree.
cut. Nah, you make a good point though. Like I think I kind of said it earlier where like it's just the average person does average shit. But with all of the opportunity and all of the free things, dude, like it's
Mm-hmm.
just I don't see how like if you don't at least if you try, you could maybe not get wealthy, but you could definitely start making some type of money off of it
Yep.
because the more you learn, the more knowledge you gain, you utilize that shit.
Yep.
And it you don't know when, but it'll just randomly come where someone you can hear somebody over talking and be like, "Oh shit, hey, I actually know how to do that." In case, y'all need anything, kind of like what we do
Mm-hmm.
with like the camera thing, right? Like we learned how to use it, how to like edit videos and all that. So it's like now it's like, okay, well, you need a video done, like yeah, we could actually do it.
Yep.
And it's based off of knowledge.
Facts.
So I actually agree with you on that. I agree
Yeah.
with you.
I just think like how he said, I think in the nature of the question if having a fair chance, yes.
Yeah.
But to your point, I think also to add on to what he was saying, like the average person is doing average things. So if we're talking about like work ethic or the average person is gonna do what it takes to get there, chances I would say like I mean I don't know, just throwing a number, I would say like probably 1 out of 10 people are gonna actually do the work that it takes using the free information that's already out there to their advantage to get wealthy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um but I think yeah, all 10 of those people do have a fair chance like if they did the work, you know?
Yeah,
But
bro.
unfortunately they don't. So
No, they really don't, dude.
yeah. Damn, that's crazy,
Good
huh?
thing we ain't average, bro. We different.
Yeah, cuz honestly like just some data out here like the median household income right now and well, not right now, but in 2024 was about 80K. So that means that
Bro,
in a household 80K is what combined income was
dude, that's
average,
crazy, bro.
and that's not that much.
Dude, that's not
That's
a lot,
that's
dude.
like, dude. I mean,
It's not
now
enough.
it's a little bit more than I think what an average person makes right now. Because I think an average person singularly makes
It's like 53.
like 50. Yeah, I was gonna say like 50 to 60. But
Correct.
dude, making 80K is like,
Which is usually, yeah.
yeah. Say you're doing 60K or 50K, right? We'll do the average 50K at your 9 to 5 and you do like Uber Eats, you do Instacart or something on the side that doesn't require really like a clock in or clock out, or maybe you do a second job part time, you can easily make another 20K with that job a year. Easily make working minimum, like part time
Damn.
hours. And that puts you already in itself at the 80 to 85,000 ish
Bro, honestly, this might be a hot take, but I feel like any if you are if you are single, you don't have any kids, and it's just you by yourself, bro, I don't think it's that hard for one person to make 100K. Dude, single, no kids, by yourself, there's no fucking excuse why you shouldn't be working. If not one job, one high paying job, why can't you have a second job that maybe doesn't pay as much, but it's making that extra income? But
Comfortability.
that's a fucking bar.
Barology.
He said it. Go watch the last couple episodes.
Facts.
But I mean, they might come for me for that one. But dude, like the reality, dude, people are just kind of lazy, dude. Well, everybody wants to go have fun, like we've talked about before,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
I don't think it's actually that hard, bro.
It's not, bro. It's not. It's not. It's not that hard to make that much. And I know we probably sound like ignorant saying it, because people probably watching this are like, well, how do you expect me to make 100K if my job pays me 50? We're talking about like people that want to reach that level are gonna do what it takes to. Right? We're
Yes,
talking about the people that are, how he said, single, no kids, that can afford it. Still getting a second job, right? Like if you're working two full-time jobs, that's 16 hours of your day. You sleep 8 hours, you're chilling. Even 6 hours. Like,
dude. Yeah,
bro, I sleep
facts,
that
bro.
right now. Like, you know what I mean? I sleep those
Yeah,
6 or 4 or 5 hours a day, and people are out here complaining that they're sleeping 9 instead of 12 hours.
bro. Yes,
I'm like, brother,
dude. Yeah,
get them out of here,
yeah,
lock them up.
yeah, dude. Facts, dude. Hit the road.
Yeah,
But fucking
yeah,
yeah, we're cooked on that one. We're about to get canceled.
we already did actually.
um,
So if wages are going up, why are people still saying they feel broke? And we've talked about this, but for the sake of this episode, if wages are going up, because every year in California they've been going up about $1 ish
yeah,
since the beginning of time. But obviously, we mentioned it already. Inflation's part of it, but outside of inflation,
lifestyle inflation, dude.
hell yeah,
eh, I had to learn the hard way, but and it wasn't with clothes. It was like with cars and other stupid shit. But I think lifestyle inflation is honestly a big one because everybody wants to look like they have money, even though they don't. Um, or who knows?
bro, I don't
Obviously,
even buy clothes, bro.
me neither, dude.
I literally don't. I'm not that like up dressy type person like that. I wear the same type of clothes for like a year or more before I even buy new shit.
Yeah, dude, I got holes in this shirt and this.
Facts. This right here, it's our brand.
Yeah, that's 2 years old right there, actually, chat.
Yeah.
um, but I think, I think that's like one of the biggest factors, bro. Like aside from regular inflation, dude, which is just insane. Because the reason why wages are going up is because of the actual inflation. So like everything
Mm.
goes up a couple cents or $1, and then oh wow, next year minimum wage goes up $1. Like boom, you're supposed to not feel anything, right? But it's actually kind of bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. I honestly, this is gonna sound like crazy, but I I think inflation is literally like this is gonna sound crazy to say, but fake. Like it's just like it's built to control the world, like keep people systematized in their 9 to 5s and trapped and things like that.
That's an
Yeah, I
interesting way to
think
look at it,
like
actually.
because bro, if inflation is going up and then wages are going up, like how high are we gonna continue this? Like, are we gonna at some point be making $100 an hour, but and then an average house is gonna
Damn.
be like $1 million, right?
Pretty
So it's like
much.
I don't really understand why we're just going up if we could have since the beginning, in my opinion. Maybe, and it's probably sounds it's said easier, obviously, but why couldn't we just keep inflation at like the $2 and the average house at a 300K or whatever, and controlled like why things are getting expensive? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, you know what, bro? Now that you mentioned that, it might be because of like the debt that we're in. Not as individuals, but as a country. When you
As a
think about
country,
the
yeah, like
debt,
trillions of
bro,
dollars.
it's a ridiculous amount, dude. So,
Well,
it,
I think that's a big reason for sure.
yeah, dude, because there's just, like you said, there's just no way, bro. Like, how do these people in power not have that common sense that you have? Where it's like, bro, it's fucking common sense. Like, this, we keep it the same, so it should stay like that.
Yeah, we can
But
control the things outside and just make sure that we stay at a certain level. But
yeah,
I think for me, it's like, well, how high are we gonna go? Like, are we just gonna
it's
just
gonna
keep it?
reset.
Yeah, like, do we hit 100 and then it's like, oh, we get bumped back down to $2,
Damn,
and
brother, we're
then
gonna
like
be
hit a cycle?
cooked.
Uh, you know what they say? There's a quote that people talk about, and it says, "Common sense ain't too common."
Dude,
And
oh my
no
god.
matter, like, there's
Yeah,
people all the way up there that unfortunately lack common sense,
bro.
and like,
Yes, dude.
obviously, you can only use information that you have to a certain extent. A lot of the times, it's easy, like, just apply the information, but you still have to have some kind of common sense to be like, well, regardless of what the data is saying, like, does this actually benefit somehow?
Yeah, dude, it's fucking insane,
Yeah,
actually. That and taxes, bro.
facts.
Dude, I got, I can't even say that word, but I got demolished with my taxes, dude. And it's insane, dude. And like, I already know they're gonna come at me for this one, but low key, I already know y'all hate this shit, but that big beautiful bill that passed honestly saved my ass from taxes, bro, cause of the overtime that I do, bro.
I
Chat,
know. I was waiting for my letter in the mail, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I didn't get one."
dude, it's actually insane, guys, how much they taxed me. Like, I got taxed. It was like $38,000. And when you think about that,
Gosh.
dude, that's almost what the average person makes, dude. Like, it just and I think why it bothers me so much too, bro. Like, cause in the beginning it was kind of just like, oh, whatever, But like,
Mm-hmm.
as I saw it go up and up and up, like throughout the years, I'm like, bro, where is this money going to? Cause nothing in my
Mm-hmm.
neighborhood is getting fixed. So it's like, where is it going to? You know what I mean?
It ain't going in my pockets.
So it's like that's also like a huge thing, bro, where it's just like,
Yeah.
bro, I think I would feel better if I could say, okay, I'm gonna get taxed this amount of money, but let me send some of it here, send some of it to like the
Oh, you
schools.
had
You
a
know what I mean?
choice
I think
in
if
where the money went.
yeah, bro, I would feel a lot better about that shit.
Yeah, no, I agree, dude. Like, if you can choose to where your tax money would go to, I think that would be pretty sick. But they should put like a cap as to like
What, you get taxed?
based off your income, like, and your how much you got taxed. Like, all right, you get taxed. As just an example, 10,000 a year. All right, based off your income, you qualify to donate to each category or send
Mm.
each category like 2,500 each, 2,500 each, 2,500 each, or yeah, I think like there's a cap
That
for
would be
each
dope.
category. Cause and then like
That would
say
be dope.
there's a bunch of people that are gonna be like, oh, we need to send all our money to education systems, but and then our roads are shit, our fucking infrastructure is dumb, and it's like, all right, well, no one's sending money there, so there
Yeah.
has to be some type of like I think control max and mins kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think that would be dope. Like, all right, y'all are complaining about roads. Well, then put your money in the roads,
Hit
right?
the
Like,
road.
hit
Yeah.
the road.
And you know what's funny? Like that doesn't even sound like a lot, but when you think about like millions of people,
Dude,
that's a
think
dude.
about it.
It's
And
so
the
easy, bro.
gas tax was like, oh, well, the gas tax is an extra 10 cents a gallon. But and then you think about, all right, well, my car is 16 gallons, so that's 60 cents every time I fill up times millions and hundreds of millions of people
Dude.
in the US, right? Like billions
Yeah.
actually. And you're just like, fuck, that adds up quick.
That's why I'm like, how we are we in debt, bro? Those fools are buying GT3 RSs without us. Like, not, it must be that, bro.
They some bullshitting ass people out here.
God
But
damn.
I mean, what do we know? We just basic
That's
podcasters.
true. We're just average.
Yeah, we're just average peeps out here. All right, but we'll move on from that and we'll talk about the barriers.
Oh, dude,
This is
too many of
probably
them.
the biggest challenge facing younger generations, and it's inflation. So, in many parts of the country, like San Francisco, the Federal Reserve, they're talking about how people in 2025, 57% of the people couldn't even afford a $300,000 house. That is actually crazy.
That's
$300,000 house, 57% of the population cannot afford that. And
makes sense.
it makes sense, but it's actually also concerning in my opinion because like dude, 300K is obviously a big number, but payment wise, like you're looking like if you're looking at a 30-year term, and don't quote me, I'm not a professional or anything, but if I had a guess, maybe with interest rates, it's kind of whack right now because interest is so
Yeah,
high.
dude.
But we'll say interest was like at a 2 or 3%, just in the middle of what it used to be a long time ago, 1%, 2%, and like the 6% that it is right now. I would have, if I had to guess, payment would be about $1,800 to $2,000 for a 300K house with a 30-year loan.
How much? Did you
About
say?
like 2,000, 2,000 to 2,500 max for a $300,000 house.
Yeah.
So I think that is pretty alarming because if you can't afford to have $2,500 for a mortgage, even on your own, as
Yeah.
someone in the world, like y'all gotta start working another shift, picking up shifts, or and again, I know that kind of sounds like
Easier said
messed
than
up
done.
and easier said than done. But like if you're a healthy individual, young, and not even just young, even if you're in your 30s and 40s, like, bro, I understand if you have kids and it's a little bit harder now, dude, but
You know,
if there's a will, there's a way. Like, especially now you can make money from home. There's so many
yeah.
ways you can make money
Th-
from home. You don't even have to leave your house. Like you can get stuff mailed to you, then you like I don't know, refurbish it or you resell it and you never have to leave your house. So it's like if you can somehow have a 9 to 5 plus a side hustle and come up with we'll just say to be safe, 35 to 400 4K, $3,500 or $4,000 a month by yourself, there's a problem.
I think for like a $300,000 house, bro, even because that is a low, bro, like you're not finding that anywhere out here. Like you're gonna have to go to like
No, I understand that you're not
fucking
gonna
the
find that anywhere out
Antelope
here.
Valley,
Not even Antelope Valley anymore, dude. You
Yeah,
got to
there's
go to
no
like
way.
Little Rock,
Somewhere ridiculous where
somewhere
you're gonna
out
get a
in the
shed.
desert, or like what Bakersfield.
Bakersfield. And I think the problem out there in those areas, dude, is there's not a lot of high paying jobs. Like there is some, like you could be obviously an officer, a firefighter. You could work in like the prisons, which pay very well, but realistically, not everybody's built for that. Um,
Yeah.
but when you start breaking it down, that's where it's like, okay, I think you have to have a second job. Like, if you're not gonna have a job that's well paying, you have to be one of those people that has a second job in order to make that payment. Because yes, it's 2,500 is not that much to have extra, but you also gotta include like utilities, food, like your normal
Yeah.
fucking household items.
Well, that's why I had said like 3,500 to 4,000. If
Yeah,
you had a $2,500 house payment, I think realistically $4,000
a month.
a month
Yeah,
would get you by. I'm not saying you're gonna be living like tomahawk steak lifestyle,
dude.
but I
Yeah,
think you would be able to get by with 4K a month on your own. And this is
yes.
just like one person.
On
If
your
you
own,
had
I
a
agree. I
partner
agree.
or something, if you even if that partner's making an extra $1,500, which is like,
That's easy.
dude, you could work 2 days at a week
So
and
2 days.
make that in a month. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
So it's like that person could literally get the
Hmm.
groceries and that's it.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's definitely possible. It's just you have to be super strict down. Like you have to be dialed in, bro. Like there's just no way you can't be one of the people that like go out and have fun, you know? And I think that sucks, bro. Like for a regular just regular
Regular
job, you know,
schmegular.
regular Albertsons grocery store job, you know, like you're not gonna be happy doing that.
Hell no.
So damn, dude, that's rough, brother.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
dude, housing right
kind of
now,
hard, bro. That is a huge barrier, dude. God damn.
housing is housing is difficult right now, dude. A lot of people right now that are our age either already had a house early on because they saved money and they were really dialed in right out of high school, in my opinion, and they like got a house, or they moved away and got a house to like a different state that's
Moved
way
away,
cheaper,
yeah.
or I know people that are honestly just genuinely doing really well for themselves, and like they're able to afford a house, which is great. But you know that's like 1 in the 10 people that I know, right? Like one out of maybe even 20 people I know
Yeah, I was about to say, brother.
are in that position where they were able to start early or secure something even now because they're doing well for themselves. Um,
So do you think that buying a house nowadays in today's day and age still makes sense, or do you think that like renting either an apartment or back house or something like that is like a better financial decision?
I would say it's circumstantial in terms of what your living situation is currently. So like
Mm-hmm.
I would say, for example, myself. I live with in my mom's house. I pay my part of bills here at the house. I pay like rent and stuff like that, utilities. Um and then I support myself 100% outside of that. So like car insurance, my gas, my utilities, my food, my groceries, like I buy whatever I need, my own groceries. We all share, but like things that I want, I buy for myself. Like if I meal prep, everything, self fund myself. It's like if they're roommates to me essentially, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, for me, there's no like issues with like living conditions, right? So for me, I'm blessed to be in this position where like I don't have to urgently move out. I don't have like a partner, I don't have like kids or anything like that. So I'm blessed to like be able to invest money in other areas. Um considering the housing market, like by myself right now, like I wouldn't be able to afford to go buy a house and live in the house by myself. It just, in my opinion, is financially irresponsible.
Yeah.
But I think that if I wasn't in this situation where like I wasn't blessed to be in a house and have family with me where there's like we all get along and stuff like that or whatever, and I had to move out, then yeah, like I think in your only option is renting, then renting is not a bad option. But I think your goal should always be to figure out a way to own property
Mm-hmm.
eventually. Like I want to
Yeah.
own property and properties eventually. Um but right now I don't, it's not like a financially smart situation for me to just do it on my own. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Um, like if I had a partner, or like a partner with kids or someone like a kid coming on the way, then yeah, like for sure I would be searching for like an apartment or a house because you could also buy apartments. I know a lot of people don't know this maybe, but
True.
just people think as apartments like, oh, like, well, you don't have property. Like, yeah, you don't really have property, but you can buy an apartment, and then when you get a house, you can rent your apartment out and still cash flow out of that.
Or even a condominium
Oh
too.
yeah, or a condo too. So I think perspective and circumstance. Um, you wanna aim to buy so that you can own the land or own the property. Um, but if you truly, truly can't, then I mean, like, you're gonna get stuck renting, I guess, for I don't know how long, and then you're gonna eventually have to figure out, if you want to stay in that forever or do you want to like grow out of that.
Mhm.
A lot of people end up just living in apartments for the rest of their lives, and in my opinion, that's kind of, I mean, you gotta do with what you gotta do. Like, I'm not shaming anyone for it, but me personally, like, I would not want to do that for the rest of my life. I
Hmm.
would want to own property so that even if I don't get to own it for a long time, maybe I acquire property at 50 years old, right? Then at least I can pass that down to like family, right? And then my
Mm,
next,
yeah.
my next family lineage can like live there at least, right? And I can start them off in a better situation than I had. Um, which is why I always tell like my mom and whatever, I was like, dude, don't ever sell the house. Like, if you ever think of that, like, I'll even buy the house off you just so that we can hold on to it, so we can just rent it,
It's
right?
about to be Camacho Ranch out here, chat.
Hell yeah.
We're about to
I
have a
already
MSB ranch.
I already started scoping out some ranches actually, so be careful because I might buy your house out.
Well, we kind of need it, dude.
Yeah, for all the bullshit we're gonna do. Built some ramps, probably some quads, probably.
Couple half pipes.
Yep. A little actual racetrack replica
Dude,
just
yeah.
for good old sakes, just to test out the wheels on the Ferrari and the Lambo GT3.
Bro, I
Yeah.
actually want some horses.
Some horses?
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be
Well,
sick
bro, if you're gonna have
actually.
a Porsche, you gotta have a horse.
That's true.
No,
That's true. If
namaste.
you're gonna have a Ferrari, you gotta have a horse.
You gotta have both.
Yeah, you gotta have
Yeah.
a stallion though.
Yeah, Chad. Don't let us get money.
Yeah, we're gonna spend it on bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
um, but yeah, I think buying a home just it's it does make sense still, in my opinion. I think it's always gonna make sense to buy a home because owning land and owning property is an appreciating asset.
Yeah.
Although, the market could crash, you can lose money technically, but I think in the long term of things, it's proven to be something that you can typically gain, you know, on it. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, it comes down to, perspective, maturity, and also just not letting social media get to you. Like a lot of people are out in the world right now that are comparing their lives to their friends that are their age. Maybe I know people are our ages right now are in the stages of getting houses or like starting families and things like that. So for us, like, we might feel like, hey, we're behind because we don't have a house or whatever the case is, but I think that's not necessarily the case. It's just, you know you don't know what they're really going through, or our situation. And for me, it's like how you said you love living with your family, and so for you, if you get the chance to stay with your family versus like getting a house on your own, for you, staying with your family at home makes better sense, right? As long as you have like your own privacy, your
Hell
own
yeah.
space. And
Yeah.
yeah, and that's kind of like what I have at home, so for me it makes sense.
Yeah.
So
So do you think would you say that social media has changed like expectations?
mm, yes. Social media has definitely influenced and changed expectations because a lot of people right now have unrealistic lifestyle goals in the nicest way possible. Like, an average person that isn't doing shit thinks that they're just gonna land on a mansion house with a nice
Yeah.
car and they're gonna be living this lavish lifestyle, or someone's gonna hand it to them like pass it down. And who knows, maybe they do have a family member that is making a bunch of money and like they don't really have to work and they're just relying on that one person, which in my opinion is kind of whack to do. Um like, go out there and make your own life and build your own life, dude. Like, don't rely on a family member to like live your life for you and get those things for you. Like it's different if you're working with that family member to achieve these goals, but if you're just kind of reaping benefits, like dude, kick rocks.
I agree
Uh
with you. I agree on
um
that.
but yeah, dude, social media has gave this false perception of so many people, you know, portraying lifestyles that seem attainable to an average person, but realistically is digging in deeper into people's pockets than they have, right? Like someone is going to vacation every month now. They're trying to get this big ass house that's like $1 million, but they're like making 70K a year or 50K a year, and like not trashing on anyone that's making that honest living, but it's like unfortunately truth reality is you're not gonna be able to afford that house on lifestyle unless you change something in your the way you're making money. Like, I'm not saying that you'll never get there. I'm just saying that if you're staying on the same route that you're going in on the average lifestyle and income, you're not.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, nothing changes if nothing changes.
Barology,
It's a bar, brother. That's another bar for
the
y'all.
episode of Barology today.
That's been every episode.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
I
dude.
just think like
I agree
that's
with
what
you,
it is,
bro.
dude. Like,
I mean, that's kind of part of the reason why I know I feel behind, like fucking open social media and I see people, and I think
yeah.
it's good and bad because you could kind of look at it in the sense of like for us where like we look at it and it's like, damn, okay, I want to make that change to get there, as opposed to like other people will just look at it and pretend to have these things. You know what I mean? And then
Yup.
post it on social media and make it seem like, hey, like I'm not there, but I'm almost there. I'm doing all these things, going on vacations,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case is. But I think that's obviously like a huge thing. Part of the reason why like I'm just like, fuck, dude. I'm 28. Yeah, I'm 28. They almost forgot.
Turning 29.
Damn. Yeah, so like I'll tell myself like, dude, I'm so freaking behind. But
Damn,
then
brother.
like then I remember like, dude, we're still young, We're still young, we're still learning
Bro,
so
where the hell
much.
did our 20s go, bro? We're on the
Dude,
back end of
I know we're on the
20s.
back burners.
Dude, you're hitting 29 this year. Less than 6 months. Well, about 6 months away,
About 6 months,
5 months.
yeah.
I'm 6 months, 7 months, well, like seven-ish months away from hitting 28. I'm like, fuck, what
Dude.
the?
Well, cause think about it, bro. Like our early 20s, dude, we were not doing shit, dude. Like we
Dude,
were out.
up until like 24 years old, 23, like 23, 24, I was not doing shit, bro.
Dude, we were going out all the time, just not doing anything productive or anything. We weren't trying to do anything with our lives, essentially, like we
Yeah.
were comfortable with where we were.
Yeah, bro, it's
And
crazy.
with all those distractions, dude, time flies. And next thing you know, next thing you know, you're fucking almost gonna hit 30, dude. And
Dude,
it's
that's
crazy, bro.
fucking
It's
insane,
crazy,
dude.
dude. But then
Insane.
when you start thinking about it, the average millionaire, I believe, is like 57, if I'm not mistaken.
And we're right on track, brother.
So we're right on track. That's good. But yeah, we're gonna hit it before for sure.
Oh yeah,
But
dude.
I think also like hearing other people older than us say like, dude, you guys are still so young, like starting so young or whatever,
It's
stuff like that, right?
crazy to hear
It
that
it
shit.
starts making me feel a little bit better where it's like, dang, you know what? Okay, yeah, maybe I need to stop dwelling on I should have started sooner and just be grateful that I was able to start, you
You
know?
know what? I wouldn't say. I guess it kind of like not annoys me, but kind of. I guess it does when people tell me that it's like, but you're so young, you're you're ahead or whatever. But and then I'm like, when you were my age, you had a house already. Shut up, like what? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I get you, I get you, I get you.
Like you had what seems like the lifestyle that I want right now. You
Mhm.
already had that. So when I hear people tell me that are elder like, you guys are starting so young. You guys are ahead of a lot of people. I'm like, but you were ahead of what I am right now. You know? And I'm not taking anything away from them,
True.
but that's what I think about sometimes when they tell me those things. I'm like, you're telling me that I'm ahead, that I'm this, but when you were my age, you already
Mhm.
had all the things that I want.
Yeah, kind of sparked the question then. So do you think like those people that say that, do you feel like maybe they have some regret as far when it comes to like not taking advantage of like their early 20s and having fun with their friends and stuff like that? Because for them to
Uh,
say that, if they're telling me that in my head, I'm automatically thinking like they're regretting that they didn't take advantage of their younger years
mm,
and having like the fun with their friends and all that.
I think more likely than not, the person that we're talking about is thinking back to their early 20s and saying, like, I didn't have that luxury of being able to not necessarily throw your early 20s away, but enjoy the early 20s and do nothing. Afford to do
Mhm.
nothing, really just party or go out, hang out with friends, spend all your money, and like not have to worry about saving for a house because it was a livelihood thing that you like they were needing, right?
Mhm.
So I think maybe yeah, where they look back and they're just like, well, dude, you're 27. At 27, I had to have a house. I had to like I had a whole family to look after. Like there was a lot more responsibilities on their shoulders. And I think so when they tell us these things, they're just like, dude, you guys are on right on point. And like you guys are not struggling kind of thing. You guys are
We have
in the
the
right direction.
advantages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think more likely than not, that's what maybe they reference or think about. But I honestly
Mm.
I don't know.
Dang. Yeah, I think it was just a different time for them, huh?
Yeah.
It's different times, dude. Cause I know for sure, like thinking back to like say like even my grandparents, it was like you get married, have kids right away,
Dude,
get a
yeah.
job, get your house, and then that's the dream,
That was
right?
the American dream right
That's the
there.
dream, bro. And nowadays with like the way everything is, that's just not the dream anymore.
Dude, yeah. But I
Everybody
think
wants to do it on their own, or
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think like one thing though that like okay, so let me ask you this, like how important is like family vacations and like having a house to you? Cuz I know like for growing up for like I'll say myself, not that we didn't do like family vacations, but it wasn't to like the extent of what I know like some friends they were going like on cruises, they were going to different states,
Yeah.
they were traveling. Versus like for me, like my
Yes.
family is like, oh, we would go to the Castaic Lake, right?
Dude,
For the
that was
day or
the
the
shit,
weekend.
bro.
Or
That
we
was
were
the
going
shit.
to like go eat at
Free
like hometown
places.
buffet or like we were going to the park at Handsome Dam as kids, right? Like that was like our vacation stuff that we would do because we were like less fortunate, right? Like we were not as well off as a lot of other people. And so I think
True.
now as I'm getting older, I'm like I do wish, like we were able to do some of those things because now that like I've been able to go to some places, I'm like, damn, like this is pretty cool. Like, not that I can't make those memories now, but I wish like I was able to do it with my family, right? Not that I can't, that's the goal, but everyone has their own lives now. So like if you had to
Yeah.
choose in I'm at that time your grandparents had to choose, right? Like I'm sure they weren't taking all
Yeah.
your uncles and aunts to vacations together, right? They
Bro,
were
9 kids,
they were
brother?
choosing to buy a house, invest in that, and like
Yeah.
put a roof over their head. And they were just like, well, this is where our money's going. We can't afford vacations, right?
Yes.
So, like, for you, would you say that that's something that like is important to you, or you're just kind of like, nah, like a house is enough?
I think a house is enough. I think I think it's enough when you have kids. I think when you have kids, it's like just different because like you mentioned earlier, you at least have that property to pass down, so they are more fortunate to they have that luxury now where eventually when they get old enough, if with all these inflation things, at least they have a roof over their head
Mm-hmm.
without having to stress about like, dang, I need to get a house or whatever, right? So I think that changes everything because, and damn, this kind of pisses me off actually. I actually have a I have a coworker that works full time, and their partner has a really good paying job and also works full time, and they live in an apartment,
Hmm.
which is like, and not to like shit on them or anything, but for me it just doesn't make sense. So I asked one time, like, oh, like, like, why don't you guys look to get a house or something, right? And it's because they go on vacations. They
Um.
go on like 3 vacations every year, and their mindset is, well, we want to enjoy taking vacations right now, and so instead of owning a house, that money we use it to go on vacations.
Mm. Are
But
they
they also
older or
have
younger?
kids. I think 40s,
Oh wow.
40s. So, and that's like just a different mindset, especially for like that age group in this day and age. I think people that age don't typically think that way.
Mm-hmm.
And they have kids, so it's like, I don't know. I think for me, I would want to be like you said earlier, like have that property where I can at least pass down to my kids and say, hey, like you guys can own this. This can go under your name one day. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, definitely having a home is more important. I think buying a
Mm.
house is more important.
Interesting. Interesting. What about like if you were able to do both? Do you think like
Oh,
you would
dude, that'd
just
be great.
but but would you invest like okay, say you had extra like I don't know. We'll just say if you had to choose between if you had a house and then money extra on the side and you wanted were like, okay, I can either invest the money or go on vacations. But I'm covering all my livelihood expenses like insurance, my 401k, my all my other stuff 100% and I have still like a little bit of extra money on the side. Are you thinking I'm throwing all that extra money into investing or should I use that money to going on family trips?
I think I would make a rule, like a percentage split of it with any free money. Because then I think if I were to put all of it into like investments, I think I would feel a little bit selfish.
Mhm.
Um, and well, I think my mindset now having kids, it's a little bit different. So like, if I know I have like an extra $200, say,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna put $200 into like a stock.
Mm.
I'm gonna split it or even do $50 into the stock, and then the other split it into the kids or whatever they need, right?
Mhm.
So I think that's what I would do personally.
Mhm.
And then, if this is going well, then, that can funnel into like vacations and shit like that.
I see, I see.
But I also think like it should be earned to some extent. I don't think you should just go on a vacation just to go. I feel like I feel like something like that should be earned. You know what I mean?
What qualifies as earning a vacation?
So say the kids have good grades.
Mm.
You let them know in the beginning of the year or the semester, like,
Hell
hey, if you
yeah.
guys do good, you guys bring me A's and B's. These are things that we can go out and do. We can go to like a Laker game, go to another state, go to Mexico or something
Damn
like
fool,
that.
let me
Something
bring out
cool.
my old report cards real quick.
Something cool that they would enjoy, right? I think
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in that sense, because then like you also
There's motivation to give them like reason to like, okay, do good in
exactly.
school. You can go do the Laker game. You can go to the Dodger game. Whatever the case. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And it doesn't just have to be school. It could literally be like, dude, like keep the yard clean for like the whole month or something, or like throughout like your summer vacation, like do these things around the house, to show that it's at least being earned so they learn it from a young age. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're working for something. There's a
Yes.
give and get.
Yes.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think that mentality like really important. Where it's like you also instill that like the earning aspect around things, no matter at what level you're in. Like if you're
Yeah,
all
definitely.
really wealthy or barely getting by, it's like I think it's important to teach that and show like the how that can get you through life, not just like from a young age, but through adulthood too, and just like with anything work related. Because I think like we grew up in that style of parenting where it's like, all right, well, if you want this, you got to do this, right? It's not that it's impossible, but you have to earn it, right? And I've seen like people our age that are having kids and they're just like spoiling their kids, and it's like, oh, I want to give them a better lifestyle than I had when I was a kid, which is fair. 100%, I
Yeah.
100% agree, you want to give a better lifestyle to your kids. But I think there's also like a fine line of like spoiling and you're not teaching them basic life skills, and then now they're just kind of like expecting handouts. I was like, well, I always had this, I don't have to work for it, you know. And when they go out
Yeah.
into the real world, it becomes tricky for them.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, especially for the kids, man, because kids, dude, they're like sponges, dude. They soak up everything. They're
100%.
they're a lot smarter than you think, dude.
Yeah, dude, they know better math than I do, actually.
Dude, yeah, they know to go to grandpa for the freaking candies and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this. Would someone from like the 1980s, 90s be able to survive in today's economy? And if and do you think
No,
someone from today would be able to survive in the 1980s, 90s era?
dang. So just
So pretend like you yourself right now, would you be able to survive in the 80s, 90s? And would someone from the 80s, 90s in their life be able to survive in today's state? Like income wise, job wise, all that stuff. Housing, like each conditions.
damn, dude. I don't know. I feel like people back then were a lot more disciplined, so I think they can. I think it would be a lot easier for them
Hmm.
to adjust to like
Interesting.
today's market. But because the the climate that we're in right now, like our generation, a lot of people are lazy, dude. And in those times, and what was it, 1985,
There was.
you're not gonna get around being lazy. Like just being freaking real, dude. Like
Hmm.
you're not gonna get a job. You're not gonna get that promotion. Like back then, it's all about hard work. Who can work the hardest?
Yeah,
Whoever works the hardest is gonna get the promotion, right? He's gonna keep moving up, getting the more dollars, gonna get the overtime, all those good stuff.
pretty much.
So I don't think the person now in 2026 would survive back then, but
Interesting.
I do feel like the person in 1985 would be able to survive in today's day and age.
Interesting. I agree actually. I agree, but I'm gonna further what kind of you said and say my answer stands on the sense of obviously work ethic, yes, super big factor, but being able to access information and apply information or like knowledge back then was a needed skill.
Hmm.
Not that it's not needed right now, but again, going back to like social media, the internet, chat GPT, like AI, all that stuff, so many businesses, companies, people use these AI platforms and just like easy access information to give them answers to do the next step, right? It's like a guide, like, okay, what do I do now? Let me ask. Okay, next step, I'm stuck without even trying or even trying to solve it. They just ask like ChatGPT, right?
Yeah.
I think that is good in a lot of ways, right? Like we don't have to think. It's like information so easily accessible. However, when we're talking about like can someone from 2026 survive in 1980s, 90s, back then they were having to problem solve. They were having to think critically. They were having to
Yeah.
um, be resourceful, look and study for information, being able to really truly understand and apply it. Right. So
Mhm.
it was a way different living condition, and now it's like kind of things, computers and AI does a lot of the things for you. Robots do things for you. Machines do things for you a lot more. Um, you still need to be able to apply information and do things. I just think it's more, um, what's the proper word? Like animated, maybe. I don't know if that's the proper word. Um, and like self done. So
Yeah. Yeah.
not that someone can't, like, I think, from for example us with our work ethic, I think we would be able to survive in that time because of our
Oh,
work
dude, yeah.
ethic, right?
For
We
sure.
problem solve, we do things. But I would like to think that we're not like an average person, where the average person now can't work.
I think I would have been better off back then, to be honest.
Honestly, same, dude. Those old Oldsmobiles. Shh.
You know what people would what they would struggle with though, bro? Like they would struggle with trying to figure out how to use these tools nowadays.
Yes.
That's where they would struggle in. I think
I
they
see
would.
it all the time with elders, like,
Yeah, dude.
they're like, how do I use this phone? How do I use this
It's not even a
chat?
phone.
And I'm just like, dude, you just click this button right here. It says continue.
I want to say is Hey Siri.
Yeah. So I understand both sides for sure. The
Mm-hmm.
technology is
Yeah.
sometimes a little advanced for some of the older generations to comprehend. Not that it's impossible, but they're more reluctant and avoid it and don't want to learn. And they're stuck in like the old fashioned lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but newer generations like now would not want to revert back to like the Stone Age and be like, dude, we don't have ChatGPT to give us the answers. We have to actually put in the
You have
work.
to actually study.
We have to actually read. We can't have this shit read it for us.
Yeah, that's so crazy, dude.
So it's a way different lifestyle. I'm curious if you're part of that generation, 80s, 90s, and you were already like, early adult or maybe mid adult working, like, let us know in the comments, like, what is one of the biggest differences that you have seen, and if you think what we said is accurate, like,
Yeah.
in terms of
Yeah.
survival, someone from today's day and age surviving back then, and someone from back then surviving in today's day and age. Um, but yeah, I'd be in. That's interesting, huh?
Dude, yeah. That is actually
Well, we're gonna have to do a study now. Actually, I'm gonna have to give my boss some Apple AirPods and a and an iPhone.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Dang.
jokes.
Well, I think we could wrap it up there. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, chat.
Yeah. Let's wrap it
Let
up.
us know
Let's
in
wrap
the
it up.
comments what you guys think. I think that's a kind of good discussion ending there for the people watching. What do you guys think
Yeah.
um, on any of this stuff that we covered today? Uh, if you would be able to survive back then, if you're surviving even now, what
Barely.
barely. Um, if what you think about how inflation has affected your life or someone you know's life. Um,
Yeah.
if you think there's gonna be a crash, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Like, there's a lot of things going on in the world right now. We don't really know like what direction we're gonna be going in, but um, yeah, I think I still stand on the whole idea of like I like how high in inflation are we gonna go before they hit like a reset button, like the crash, which would be the recession, right? Like, when is it gonna crash? Like, are we gonna hit $50 an hour as retail
Bro.
employees, and then we're just gonna be like buying things that are $100? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. Honestly, that's gonna be
I don't think it would get to that point.
insane.
It would have to crash before that. But I mean, it's just ridiculous. There needs to be a better.
It should crash right now, actually. To be honest, I need that.
This guy. Yeah. But
Yeah, that was good. That was
with that being
good.
said, like, comment, share, subscribe. Um, again, Let us know in the comments what you guys think, what topics you guys want us to cover, and if you like these type of episodes, these styles of the Let's Talk About It series, continue to drop those likes and watching the episodes truly does help us pushing the
Yeah.
algorithm. So yeah, guys, Money Emotion Mondays with you guys today, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace.